I can't even. I don't even have words. I literally have no words.
But right now, this entire contract proves, and the contracts that Jim Rutherford and Patrick Allvin have signed from day one have proved they're out of touch with what reality is with the Vancouver Canucks. We are a bottom 10 team that are acting like we're a top 5 team. What I go, like,
you can't you literally can't trade everyone. That's such a stupid concept. That
to me,
so many fans are like, "Oh, we have to trade everybody. Trade the coach.
So 3 minutes ago, you rewind. Maybe this team's not good enough. How do you fix this team then if you're going to keep re-signing these core players?
Well, there never is. You and I have discussed this so many times. The CFL is their own worst enemy.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the April 27th edition of the Hughes Sports Podcast, presented in association with InsideTheRink.com. Joining me, I'm your host, Jake Hughes, of course, and across the way from me, you screwed me up there, the old man back from his 1 week absence. How the hell are you doing, old man?
I am doing much better. Thank you so much.
That's good.
What were you doing there? Like, what was that all about?
You swapped the cameras on me, and you threw me off because I was getting ready to point with this hand, and then you swapped the cameras as I was live, and it lost me.
That was awesome. I was like, what is he doing? He looks like he doesn't know. It looks like he did another edible, and he doesn't know what day it is.
That was I didn't have an edible last night. I had a lovely THC beverage. It was great. It's a great way to just relax.
Until you tried to talk business, and then it was like, how about we talk about this tomorrow?
How about we talk this tomorrow? So you're back after your week of illness.
Yes, yes, I feel much better thanks to this new freaking drug called Paxlovid. It seems to have really helped. So
good to hear. Good to
knock
hear.
on wood. Hopefully it stays, and we're both on the mend. So that's a good thing.
Good to hear. Good to hear. Because it was a bit scary. You're getting a text the day after we recorded the podcast being like, yeah, I'm going to emergency because I can't breathe.
It was fun. It was, I think a lot of it this time was almost a panic attack because I didn't know what was going on, and I didn't want to go through what we went through last time. So
fair. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes sense. So let's jump into some news now that you're back and better and hopefully healthy for at least a couple more years. You're getting old, so
there you go, you bastard.
Big news today.
Totem pole again.
Big news today. Kind of out of nowhere because I don't think anyone was expecting this announcement. The CFL announced today that they have a new US TV rights deal with CBS Sports. CBS Sports Network is to carry 34 games. Starting this year, but we believe, according to all rumors, is that the deal is going to coincide with the end of the TSN rights in 2025.
Oh, really? Is that what nothing's really been? They haven't really put out a lot of information.
I have more information. When was this posted? This was only posted. It doesn't even give me a time. This was posted pretty new.
Okay.
Farhan Lalji.
I read this. Yes.
Is saying that CBS earlier today when we were talking, we were being told that it was probably the richest deal that the CFL has made, as per Dave Naylor. I don't believe that to be the case anymore. According to Farhan Lalji, CBS is paying $1 million for the rights, of which each team will receive $100,000.
That's not a big deal. That's pretty slim pickings.
The old deal, according to 3 Down Nation reporter John Hodge, was worth $200,000 USD. So you've 5 times your rights deal in the States.
Really? Okay.
To carry not even half of the games, to carry 34 games.
Now, I hear there's more to this deal. I hear there's more coming to this deal. And it's funny because the CFL put out a kind of a teaser on Monday or Tuesday saying, huge announcement coming Wednesday. We're going to make a big announcement on Wednesday. And it was a new website to play Pick'em and other silly games.
So again, we've talked about how bad the CFL media is. They got so many people hyped up because their graphics were typical gamer graphics. It was neon lights. It was remote controllers. It got people excited. Not even for a console game, for a mobile app, for something, a new way to stream games. And they give us a way to gamble more.
And we have a group that plays Pick'em every year, have done for the last 4 or 5 years. Unfortunately, the guy that started it, Dave Wright, is a buddy of mine that I went to school with. He just passed away back beginning of March, end of February. So he used to set it up. It was a Pick'em. It was, you go to pick'em.ca and you make your picks for the week, and the guy with the most picks wins. So when I saw that, you're going to go to CFL Game or whatever it's called. I forget what it's called.
Game Center?
No, I can't remember.
No.
Anyways,
I'll pull it up.
I'm like, they finally have an app. This is freaking awesome.
Game Zone.
Huh? Game Zone.
So
I log on to Game Zone, and I expect to get redirected to my Play Store and download an app. No. It's a very nice website. Don't get me wrong. The website's way better than the Pick'em website they had. There's all kinds of different things you can do on it. I'm sure they'll give you all the CFL scores. They'll give you all the CFL news. They'll give you all the games. But it's not an app. It's 2023. Why isn't this on an app? Can you not go to the NFL and pull up an app on your phone?
Yeah. And on the app, it gives all the news aggregated right there for you. It gives you scores. There's a push notifications you can get, so it'll update you. It'll update you when your team scores.
It can't be this difficult. I mean, is there, and you would know this better than I would, is there a huge expense to put out an app?
Not to my knowledge on building the app from a company side of view should be pretty straightforward.
Especially an app because like this, it's not a rocket science app.
You have all the content. All the content is on your website already. Yes. All you need to do is have someone, and again, it's outside of my realm, and I know I can go to ChatGPT and I can type in to
build us an app for Hughes Sportscast.
Done. Literally, it would spit out code to bring in everything.
Yes.
There is no way that the CFL couldn't afford, with their multiple partnerships that they've made with all these companies, these technology companies, to make an app.
Are we missing it? Like, is there an app? Can I go to my Play Store?
Oh yeah, go to the app. Mm-hmm. Open it.
So I'm doing it while we talk, folks. I'm going to my Play Store. I'm going to search.
There is a CFL app. There is a CFL app.
CFL apps. CFL Mobile. CFL Hub News. 2023 CFL schedule and scores. CFL entered. So I guess it would be CFL Mobile.
I believe CFL Mobile is the.
I'm going to install it just while we're talking. So keep talking.
It's basically, from my remembrance of it, it's just a port of the website. So when you click on the link, it just brings you to the website, but it's inside an app.
Welcome. The application assists you with all your national and cross-border journeys.
The CFL mobile app is your assistant for travel planning using public means of transport in Luxembourg.
Okay, so that's not the app I really want. I'm not allowing it to do anything, and I'm going to have to delete this app now. Thank you very much to CFL. Uninstall.
So they might not have an app anymore.
CFL mobile. And if you look at it, it's a CFL mobile.
Yeah, but it's not the logo
that came up.
Yep.
And then the one below it, I guess, The CFL. Should we try this one? It's
Who's it made by?
CM3 Solutions, CFL News Hub.
CM3 Solutions. Never heard of them.
Developers can show information. No, that's not it. So I'm giving up because they don't have an app.
There used to be an app, and it used to literally just pull up the website. So why would you have an app?
It makes no sense that in 2023, the CFL can't put it together, still can't get their act together.
Well, and if they were smart, which they're not clearly, like their media department is lacking, you're partnered with TSN for Canadian broadcasting, right? You get the CFL app, and it's literally, you can make it almost just an extension of the TSN app, but it's its own separate app just for the CFL. And it allows you to log in to your TSN account, whether you have it through terrestrial cable or the TSN Direct, the over the top, or over whatever it is, logins, and you can watch the games on your mobile phone like that. You get updates.
Cool to be able to buy tickets from the CFL app for each game. It can't be this hard. If you and I can sit here in 5 minutes and come up with all these neat things an app could do. It drives me nuts, Jake. As you know, and we've talked about this in the beginning segment. We always show it. You and I have talked about how CFL is their own worst enemy. If in my position as a sales coordinator for a television sports talk show does more to promote the CFL in 1 month than the CFL has done in over 100 years. There's something effing wrong in Denmark or wherever that app was.
Luxembourg.
It blows my mind. It's just one of those things where it seems so simple and so easy to you and I, and it doesn't make sense why it's not being done.
Because the CFL isn't going to be successful because of the leadership. At what point do we have to look at everything that Randy Ambrosie has done, and who was it before him that lasted like 6 months?
But go back. I mean, you go back 10 years. There's been apps for 10 years, Jake.
Yep.
What? Come on. How can we not have an app for a professional sport league? NBA has an app. NFL has an app. NBA has an app.
Does the Professional Women's Hockey League have an app?
Probably.
Because then we're comparing apples to oranges ratings wise. Like that's why I bring up that example. Is the CFL doesn't have the draw that clearly an NFL does, or MLB even. No. But the fact that
build it, they'll come.
To a degree.
Jake, they just signed a good deal. Money, take away the money portion. A good deal to get the CFL in front of, how many homes did we figure out CBS Sports is in? Did we figure that out?
It could be up to 99. It's available in 99 million homes across the United States.
Close to 100 million homes. We're going to have the CFL, 34 games. The first game being broadcast on the CBS television network is
BC Lions and Calgary Stampeders in the season opener.
Stampeders, the season opener. Great idea, because history says that's a good game. Whenever BC and Calgary play, it goes down to the last minute. It's won in the last 3 minutes. I think when I was talking to Jay McNeil, who is the vice president of the Calgary Stampeders about a month ago now, he was saying last year, like over 70% of games in the CFL were decided in the last 3 minutes of the game. How cool is that?
That's insane. It's honestly, it's one of those things where you can't explain it. Like, we can explain it, we can get excited about it, but if you don't watch it, you don't understand it. Because you're like, what do you mean it's a football game? Game's over with 3 minutes left to go. No, like I like the NFL. I do. I tried to like the NFL more and more every year. I can't. In comparison to the CFL, it's a very slow-paced game, and I understand that's why it has, in my opinion, that's why it has a very big reach and a very big grab on the audience.
Yes.
Because the play-by-play guys have 45 seconds between each play to explain what just happened.
And they
In
can
the
do all
CFL,
kinds. You can do a lot in 45 seconds. There's 45 seconds in live television is a lot of time. You'd be amazed how long 45 seconds is when you have to fill 45 seconds talking. So putting all that aside, we now have I think, the best TV deal that the CFL has had since we did the expansion into the States. I can't remember the deal back then. Now we need to promote this.
and I was quiet there for a reason.
I know you were doing something.
I was quiet for 45 seconds.
Yeah, that's hard for you.
When you said 45 seconds is a long time to fill air, I started counting from the clock. That's what I was staring at.
Did you realize how long it was?
That's 45 seconds is a long time because you came to the end of your point and started to move on.
I can run and go pee and come back in 45 seconds.
Yeah, our intro that we run every time is a minute and a half.
Yeah.
That's 2 45-second chunks.
Yeah.
If I didn't have something I needed in front of me, I didn't have a website open, I didn't have all of the lower thirds that I can get that done in that minute and a half.
Mm-hmm.
So
no, we're not. Don't go crazy, people. We're not suggesting that we go to a 45-second break in between.
No.
We're just saying how much more exciting because it's a faster game. It's a 20-second clock and wider field, longer field. Balls are bigger.
Less downs. The biggest thing is less downs. If you're an American who's watching right now,
throw the ball more. It's a tossing game.
Honestly,
if you have a quarterback that can throw the ball, you're not going to win.
If you're an American watching right now and you have CBS Sports, please watch. Please watch, because we're going to be talking about it a lot as we come into the football season.
I'll make you a deal. And I'm going to kind of just do this without even getting permission from Jake. If we have an American listener who promise to watch the BC Calgary game on June the 8th, I think it is. I think it's June the 8th.
June the 8th, yes.
June the 8th. Watch the game. I don't think it's June the 8th.
June the 8th at 7 p.m. Mountain Time.
Is it? Okay.
BC Lions at Calgary Stampeders, week 1 of 21.
Oh my goodness. That's not good. That's a Thursday, Jake.
Why would they do that to us on a Thursday?
My goodness. What are we going to do? Oh, I know. We're going to change the podcast and move it to Monday because we want to be able to cover the CFL during the CFL season.
Hey, I like that idea.
I like that. I wonder where I came up with that idea.
Huh. Okay, sorry. You were on a tangent there. So American fan watches the game.
Man with squirrel. Watch the game June 8th. And I mean really watch it. Take notes even. On the Monday, June 12th, we will have you on the show for at least one segment, which is like 15 minutes or so. Longer if you don't suck, shorter if you suck. And we'll discuss your experience watching the CFL. And I promise I'll listen. I won't just go, you're freaking stupid if you don't think this is better football.
No,
I do. I'll think that, but I won't say it out loud.
Well, and like we're also biased because we are fans of the BC Lions.
Well, we were born and bred on it.
Exactly. So is there going to be a learning curve? Yes, there is. But it's, in my opinion, if you take out the announcers, which we've talked about before on this podcast, I'm going to hit it on the head many more times. If you get better announcers, you'll increase the viewership. What I want to know is, and it hasn't been released, are they just simulcasting the TSN broadcast to the States, or is it its own play-by-play crew?
I don't know. That's a good question, because think of the possibilities if they have their own CBS announcers. Think of who they could have on.
They don't have anyone. That's the reason why they're picking up the CFL. I was doing some digging. They lost the rights to NCAA football. They lost the rights to the NCAA March Madness, I believe.
Think of who they could bring on as commentators in color.
Well, to explain the differences, people who've played in the NFL and the CFL.
He lives down there.
Right? Like, to me, you should, if you're the CFL, you're pushing CBS to do that for two reasons. One, again, you get an American perspective on the game. Two,
it won't work if they just simulcast the Canadian.
Because again, they're not going to explain the game properly because they know the game. They're not going to take the time to say, okay, on this play, the motion here did this, which draw the guy out, because you in the CFL can run perpendicular or parallel to the line.
Yes.
To try to draw an offsides or to see the coverage. NFL, that's a no-no.
Well,
but if you're not explained that, you're not going to understand. And you're going to be like, where's the flag?
And the average American football fan is used to this NFL hype.
100%.
They're not going to get the NFL type hype with Matt Dunnigan.
No, exactly.
You know what I mean?
No,
so they have to bring in the big name. I agree.
Or does TSN do that? Does TSN go all out for these games?
No.
Make them events. Listen, hey, I want to put faith in TSN. I do, because they've given the money to the league that has kept it going.
Yeah. If they didn't do it, somebody else was going to. I get tired of hearing that crap. I really do.
I don't think for the same amount of money. Because Sportsnet didn't have that money. Sportsnet won. Sportsnet got the NHL rights. They didn't have the money to spend on the CFL. That's why it went to TSN.
Breaking news from the CFL. So during the Super Bowl lead up to the Grey Cup, they always announce a halftime act. And it was 2 weeks, week and a half, and we didn't know who the hell was playing in the halftime.
Yep.
So now Riders tap platinum-selling rock band the Northern Pikes for a summer concert series. The Saskatchewan Roughriders are bringing classic rock back to this summer, booking 5-time Juno Award nominees, the Northern Pikes, for a summer concert series. I'm just seeing when they're trying to play. This just broke. The group, blah, blah, blah. The team has already announced a musical guest for their 16th. Oh, sorry, this is even for the June 16th home opener. Is going to be Kim Mitchell at halftime. They announced this months in advance, but they couldn't announce.
Well, so again, going back to that, for those who don't know, the CFL Super Bowl, if you're down in the States, is the Grey Cup.
Yes.
Always a big event, just like the Super Bowl, just Canadian. And there was no announcement about a week. I would say 2 weeks. And they announced it was one half of Florida-Georgia line because Florida and Georgia got into an argument and only one showed up. Don't know which one. I still believe that they were in negotiations or had negotiated with Florida-Georgia line. The band broke up and they had to figure out
what the hell are we doing?
What the hell's going on with contract disputes and everything. It's the only thing that makes sense.
Yes, I agree.
Breaking news.
When
is that happening?
They just said summer series, so I didn't.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
I thought. So
what you're saying?
Home opener.
Well, so what you're saying?
Hasn't announced their home opening band.
So wait, what you're saying? What you're saying is the Saskatchewan Roughriders are turning their summer games into events. So we live, just for everyone to know, if you didn't already know, we live in Calgary, which is about 12 hours away from Vancouver, in a different province. We're just north of Montana. Again, I'm explaining this for the Americans. Canadians, just ignore me because you already know what I'm saying.
We're multinational, folks.
Why haven't the Stampeders announced anything? They now have the audience of the CBS Sports Network at this game.
Yes.
And you're just gonna have a normal halftime show of a dog and a guy dressed up as in a cow. Like,
don't you be trashing on the fastest cow.
You know what the most exciting part of the between plays or the halftime show is in Calgary? It's when the rabbit gets on the fields. The rabbit is more entertaining than any halftime show they put on in Calgary.
And folks, that's an actual rabbit that is
yes.
Runs on the field almost every single game. I don't know if it's the same rabbit or if a different rabbit, but
I feel like
every game is a rabbit, and he runs for a touchdown and the crowd cheers.
Seeing as it's been like 20 odd years that we've lived here, I'm going to assume it's a different rabbit.
Rabbits live a long time.
I'm sure they do.
Why you got to be like that?
I'm just throwing, facts out.
Well, I'll be.
Well,
let's give him an NHL update, Jake, for the playoffs. We've got 2 games going on right now. We got the Lightning versus the Maple Leafs. And the Lightning are up 2-1 with 8 minutes left in the game. Could the Lightning come back, Jake? Could they do it?
Wait, wait.
In the hope.
You're asking me, a Canucks fan, if a team is going to be up 3-1 on the road, lose a game, and then potentially come back home under immense pressure of a fan base that just wants one. A fan base that it's 3-1 now, by the way. It is 3-1 now.
It's 3-1 with 8 minutes and 6 seconds left in the game.
The pressure that team is going to feel, it might be akin to the pressure that the Vancouver Canucks probably felt in Boston or coming back home to Vancouver in Game 7.
This is going 7. I predict this is going 7.
If they lose tonight,
to crush the hopes and dreams of every Leaf fan in the world.
If they lose tonight, and there's only 8 minutes left. I've never count out the Maple Leafs this year. They were down 4-1 and came back in the third period. They've got 8 minutes for 2 goals.
True.
If they lose tonight, I think the Lightning take it in 7. That's how fragile I think this team is.
And in the other game, the series is tied 2-2. Rangers versus the Devils. And the Rangers are getting beat up 3-0. I said it that many times because I know Jake's roommate, Mr. Dom, is a big Rangers fan. How is he doing, by the way? Has he been watching any of the games?
He's been watching most of the games. When we're not streaming hockey, he's been watching.
Does he play hockey with you now?
Yeah, he's coach.
Oh, he's actually there all the time now?
Most of the time.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he's back to summer.
Wasn't I supposed to be GM? Or did I get fired?
Yeah, and then the GM never shows up to the games, so we've kind of moved on.
We've got more important things to do.
The parts of the game that I did watch, the Rangers of this game, Game 5, did not look engaged in comparison to the Devils. And I only watched a few minutes because I was getting ready for the stream and taking a quick nap because I always need that. But later tonight, because there's only 3 games being played on this Thursday evening, the Jets are taking on the Golden Knights. And the Golden Knights, if they win,
they lock it up.
It'll be the first series to be over.
There's a clip that starts the show. And it's me doing, if they win a Stanley Cup before my Canucks, I was talking about
Vegas Golden Knights.
The Vegas Golden Knights. And they're going to win this series. Don't get me wrong. They're not going any farther. But damn it, if they do, I'll have to become a Golden Knights fan, I think.
No. Nope. No. I've already disowned you before. I can't do that now.
What's your thoughts on the fact that we don't get the Oilers and Kings series now until Saturday?
It happens.
That's like a 3-day break, though. Is it travel or is it ratings? It has
nothing to do with travel. It's Edmonton to Los Angeles.
Yeah,
that's what I mean. It's double bookings.
There can't be anything up in Edmonton right now.
Not in Edmonton.
Oh, it's in LA. Oh, yes. That could be it. Eh?
If you told me 7 to 12 months ago, is LA going to be in the playoffs? No. All right, we can book something in here.
Probably. And they probably did.
Plus, you also have basketball going on.
Yes.
And I believe the Lakers are in the playoffs.
See, I just took it. They wanted 2 Canadian teams playing or 3 Canadian teams playing on the Saturday night for Hockey Night in Canada.
I'm sure that's why they took. I'm sure that's why they took the extra day.
Mm-hmm.
They could have said, "Oh no, we'll do 5 games on," but then you're having 5 games on Friday.
Yeah.
So the Rangers and Devils series had a couple days off. I see people all over the internet freaking out, being like, "How can they give them more than 1 day off? It's the playoffs, damn it!" It's happened every single year.
It does.
Hell, there was 1 year where round 2 started before round 1 was completed because the East wrapped everything up and the West hadn't wrapped everything up. Hell, 2 years ago, the Flames and the Canucks had to play makeup games while the Stanley Cup playoffs were ongoing.
'Tis a fact.
So don't give me playoffs. No, the rules are going to be broken. It's real life scenarios.
No rules. What this whole has to play every other night. That's not written in the rules. That's just
people are losing their minds on the internet. Like it's like this has never happened before, and it blows my mind.
People on the internet need to, and I'm seeing it more and more. Not that it's happening more and more. It's just with my position and now doing this job, I'm paying attention to it more.
Yeah.
People are nuts about sports.
How dare you?
They literally they lose their mind. I'm usually the rational one. I never I can't even keep a straight face.
Sorry. You're the rational fan? You're the rational fan who, what was it? Beginning of March, you text me and said, if we run out, we might have a chance to make the playoffs.
Oh, that's funny. I was trying to say that with really being serious, and I just couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. Oh, we're going to talk about the SFU now, aren't we? No, we're not. Well, I want to ask you about the playoffs.
Okay, before we move on, what else?
Thoughts as a whole so far in round 1?
My biggest takeaway, other than there must be things happening in the Devils Rangers game because I hear screaming into pillows, is that
at least he screams into pillows. If he was in here doing a
podcast, no,
watching a Canuck game,
there'd be no way. He would hate him. He would hate me more than he already does. My first takeaway from the playoffs so far is the Canucks are so far away. They are. They're so far away. The regular season, the Canucks look slow and weak. And then you turn on the Golden Knights and the Jets, or you turn on the Rangers and the Devils. Hell, you turn on Abbotsford Canucks and the Calgary Wranglers. And the Canucks, the Vancouver Canucks team is not built for the playoffs.
Not yet.
Not yet. What are you talking about? Not yet.
And not yet. They're going to make some changes. Don't you start with me.
With what money? With what money? How are we making moves?
Do we need to go over this again? How many times do I got to do this to you?
Oh, wait. You weren't here last week when we talked. I rambled because no one else was here at the time. So I apologize for that.
But what difference does it make if someone's here or not?
Normally you cut me off every now and again. This was like 30 minutes of me just rambling on.
With no filter.
But did you listen to our GM Patrick Alvin end of season press conference?
No.
That buyouts are not something that they want to use because it hurts the team too far down the line, and that it's not something in the playbook. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So no buyouts. However, it's almost been 2 weeks. We've got JT Miller trade rumors again because Frank Saravelli put out his draft board, and it showed JT Miller at number 5. He's JT Miller, supposedly, according to the inner circles of people, is a very highly sought after trade target from the Canucks.
Well, we have until July 1st, I think it is, to trade him. After July 1st, his no trade clause kicks in.
Yeah, but we can't trade him right now. There's no roster freezes in effect.
Yeah, but it will open up before July 1st.
Not much time.
You don't.
I think the draft is when it opens.
GMs aren't talking.
Oh yeah, no, don't get me wrong. They can't come up with finals checked off offers, but it's
Yes.
what would you say? No, that's my biggest takeaway from the playoffs is the Canucks are nowhere near close. That we rely on one player way too much because look at Edmonton. They're struggling to beat the depth of the LA Kings, which I talked about last week with Connor, which I don't know if you listened to because you were all grumpy you couldn't make it on the podcast.
I honestly, I did not listen to it because I was
grumpy. He said that he had the Oilers winning in 7 and was surprised that I had taken the Kings in 7 just because of their depth.
See, I took Oilers in 6, and it looks like I'm going to be right on that one.
Well, I don't agree with that, but
I think they're winning the next game.
I think you're losing your mind if you think that. Something else to lose your mind over. The SFU alumni, including Amar Doman, Farhan Lalji, Louis Pasaglia.
To name a few, Sean Middleton.
Just to name some.
There's a list of names now that the list of names coming out against the SFU closure of their football program continues to grow.
But we're talking about the positives right now.
Oh, okay.
On what day was that? Monday? Tuesday?
Tuesday,
I believe. It was the raise money for the SFU to basically take them to court. That's how I viewed it, is that you were raising money for the alumni.
No, it was raising money for the football program. It was pledging money for the football program itself.
Oh, okay.
So this money will not be paid unless
they open up the
football team is reinstated for 2023. If they cancel this season, that money goes away. So what it was a pledge day. You had 24 hours to make a pledge. You don't have to put any money out front. Just say, I'm going to put this much.
I'll put this much money once it's... So then they can go to the...
700 people raised $700,000. You obviously know there are some big dollars involved in this. Some big...
Well, and big I believe that also includes the matching from Amar Doman and other SFU alumni.
Exactly. I can guarantee you that could be raised to $1 million overnight. There's still money that hasn't been talked about.
Amar Doman put out a video on the BC, like the official BC Lions channels, saying if it's a money issue, contact me. I have a blank check.
He has more money than he could ever spend in 5 lifetimes. That kid, he literally does. And
you know what he loves? And you know what he loves? He loves football. He doesn't love hockey. He doesn't love lacrosse. He loves football, and he wants to make sure football is successful. And that's why he bought the team.
His parents, similar to your mom and I, took him to games when he was a young kid, and he fell in love with the CFL. Yeah. From Vancouver, loved it, and now he owns a team. It's a cool story. There's no two ways about it, and I wish every team could get an owner like this because he ain't afraid to spend money to make things work. Now the question is, what's next? I get tired. I always feel like I bring Rod Peterson's name up so often in these podcasts, but listening to the Rod Peterson show, actually Rod wasn't on that was away doing speaking engagements for this day that I'm speaking of, and it was Darren DuPont, his co-host, the Moose, interviewing Jim Mullen, the president of Football Canada. And Moose asked Jim direct, do we know the reason they shut the SFU football program down? And he said, that's the problem. We don't. They said something about they didn't want to hurt the athlete's experience. What the fudge does that mean? You should have seen Darren's face. I almost spewed coffee over my computer. It was one of those... I have the clip. I won't play it, but I have the clip. I'll probably post it up after, but I have that clip of what he says. Insanity.
Breaking news.
Breaking news.
3-2. So the Maple Leafs are on a comeback with 2 minutes left in the game.
Oh, come on. Don't do this to me. Don't you break...
Easy for you to say. Here, we'll take him off screen for a few seconds while he composes himself, dealing with a nasty cough from the sickness that took him out of last week's show. But no, the SFU is the SFU situation. I mean, we can only talk about it so much because I feel like we've said everything that we could say. I wish you're still muted. You're still muted. I wish the situation would get better, and I wish that the president, I'm terrible with names right now. The President Joy Johnson, I believe is her name, either came out and said, "We hear you, we understand, but we can't move forward. Take us to court, and we'll prove it." Or she says, "Okay, public pressure's enough. We're folding." Those are the two options at this point. There's nothing else.
We'll relook at it in 2024. That's not an option anymore. They fucked up. Can I say that? Yeah, we're on YouTube. I can swear.
Yeah, we're on YouTube.
It doesn't matter what they do now. And Darren and I had a long conversation about this off air. It's literally going to be decades from now. Students are going to look at what happened with the SFU program as a lesson on how not to do a public relations, because it's been a nightmare.
It's not just been a nightmare. It's been
every chance they've gotten.
Yeah, they every possible we have an opportunity to save face. They've fumbled.
I love the fumble. I love the fumble analogy, so I'm going to continue to use it. It's crazy.
It's absurd. Again, we can only talk about it so much before I'm going to lose my mind, because we've talked about this for 6 weeks now, 5 weeks now.
And you know what? It's important that we continue talking about it, because we have to make sure it doesn't go away. If the SFU is allowed to get away with this, what stops any other university, we'll just say in Canada, from doing the same thing? Think about this for a second. I've committed. My dream is to play football. I look at all the different universities and I think SFU is my best path to the NFL for me, or the CFL, whichever one you want.
Just to play professional football.
To play pro ball. This is my best path. I could choose other ones, but I think this is my best path. So I choose this university. We sign a contract, and they take that away from me at the last minute. I now don't have time to go to another university because they've already got their team set. I can't just transfer to another university.
Not until the transfer window's open.
And not only that, I've used up 90% of my money in my scholarship. Yeah. So that's gone. I've literally lost a season of football. How many players have been injured and lost a season of football and have never been able to come back and become a pro?
Not just that. We're talking about the kids who, during their prime development stages in football, were affected by COVID.
Yes.
They already lost a season.
Now they've lost two. Well,
these guys aren't. Let's face it. These guys aren't your marquee NFL guarantees.
It probably could have been. They could be your marquee CFL players, like a Louis Pisaglia, a Sean Middleton, a Angus Reid. I could go on and on. The freaking CFL players that have come out of this, next to probably Montreal. I'm trying to think of the University of Montreal.
Laval?
No.
Or Notre Dame.
I can't think of the name. It's a big. Anyways, it's one of the biggest producers of CFL talent there is, and they literally have taken 80 kids' dreams and flushed them down the toilet because they're not going to get the opportunity to showcase their talent when they need to. This is the year they needed to show their talent. They missed 2 years ago because of COVID.
Well, and the kids that's affecting the most is going to be the first years who are fighting for a position.
Yes. Or the seniors who are that close to making it pro, and this could have been the year that one of those NFL teams took a notice. Or I'm telling you, I'm suing this team for everything. I'm going,
and we still haven't heard
make me money for the rest of my life.
And we still haven't heard anything about the injunction that's in front of BC courts.
It's going through BC courts. I mean, that doesn't happen overnight. It's going to take a while to get there. I'm hoping cooler heads prevail and we have a settlement before. With the pressure that's building, I can't. And the funny thing is, because Darren asked me, so what do they do? What's the solution?
What is the solution?
The alumni came up with a schedule that the Red Leafs, that's the name of the football team.
They changed it recently, and I'm not a fan, but yes.
They could play this schedule that they put together, ending up playing UBC with what they call the Shrum Bowl. It's always been there. It's been a big thing in BC. UBC is the University of British Columbia, and you got the Simon Fraser University. Big rivalries. They have a big game called the Shrum Bowl. That would be the final game.
Even though they're in completely different conferences, because one's in the NC2A, the other's in Canada West. Just to be clear, this isn't a league game. This is just an exhibition that they have every year.
Yes. So I can't find it. I was trying to find it where I saw that schedule that they put out, the alumni put out, saying this could be done. Don't tell us this can't be done.
We did it. We did it, and we're alumni who just called up teams and said, "Hey,
will you play us?
Would you play us? And what's your schedule look like?" Okay, cool. We'll tentatively put it here. That's literally just them picking up the phone and saying, "Hey,
it can be done." Will it be done? Yes. Breaking news: the Leafs have lost. Darren,
4-2.
Darren Moose, if you're watching, I've got a Kleenex for you, buddy. Just for you.
Is he a Leafs fan?
Oh God, he's such a Leafs fan. I can guarantee you right now, Darren's got a tear in his eye. If it's not the Leafs breaking his heart, it's the Saskatchewan Roughriders with too many men on the field breaking his heart. Anyways, I better be nice because Darren is my boss, so I should be kind of nice to him.
Yeah. So what is next? What happens with the SFU situation? How do you what solution is amicable to both parties?
There isn't one. There isn't a solution that I could see. There's no way at this point the university can backtrack because they've gone too far down the rabbit hole. And for them to backtrack now, if they would have backtracked when they first saw this swell that they knew was going to happen 2-3 weeks ago, people would have went, good for you guys. Good for you. You're a bunch of freaking idiots, but good for you. Fast forward 3 weeks later, now, even if they reinstate, people are going to go, you guys are fucking retards. You guys are the worst organization we've ever seen. I don't know, Jake. I don't see a way forward. There's no path anymore.
There has to. I mean, the only thing I can think of is in a bridge season where it's again they have the right to play in the NC2A. I don't think they do anymore now that they've already announced the closure of the football team.
No,
but they did.
NCAA Division II has moved on because they actually penciled them in for the 2023 season.
Well, yeah, because
when Joy Johnson called NCAA Division II and said, we're not playing. They said, okay, and they erased them.
Which is good on them, right? Yes. So you're not gonna be playing in NCAA games, which they could have done. If they had said, again, this all could have been solved with a little bit of foresight in that you come out and say, hey, look, at the end of the 2023 season, we're going to reevaluate. We're going to bring in outside consults and see if it makes sense. And if Canada West or another league will bring us in or conference, whatever they want to call it, then we'll see what we can do. But there's no guarantee of a 2024 football season.
Yeah, no.
but instead they went out and did drastic things. And how much of it do you believe is, oh, this won't be news. It's Canadian college football. We can sneak it by.
They thought they thought this would just go away. They really did.
Well, I mean, the fact that Ms. Johnson didn't speak for 2 weeks was, in my opinion, they were hoping it would just go away.
Well, yeah, exactly.
And now I think we're going on 4 weeks of this.
It's insane.
4 or 5. It's
oh yeah. What I'm doing is I'm still trying to find that made up schedule, and I saw it somewhere and I can't find it now.
Well, if you do want to find it, and I'll search for it after as well.
We'll post it on our page.
We'll post it on Facebook and on Twitter. You can find us there, Hughes Sports Podcast at HSP_pod on both platforms. We do also have a TikTok that's slowly getting content put up onto it, but also
trying to get content put up anywhere with this company is like pulling freaking teeth.
Also, check out HughesSports.ca, where just after this podcast is done, there will be a new article up. And what is that article covering, old man, in your weekly ramble?
It might have been just what we just talked about, the SFU debacle.
Yep.
Yeah. And also, if you're a hockey fan, I know we didn't cover a lot of hockey today, but we're a Canuck and BC Lions sportscast. I mean, it's not our fault the Canucks shit the bed and they're not there. It's just one of those things. But if you like hockey and you want to read some great articles, go to ITR. Is it ITR.com or is it InsideTheRink.com?
InsideTheRink.com.
Go to InsideTheRink.com and look up Mr. Jake Hughes and check out his articles. Jake and I, obviously, we have fun doing this little podcast thing we do.
We're supposed to have fun doing this?
Yeah, we're having fun. Shut up and listen. Trying to be nice just once. Would you listen to me? Anyways, we have fun doing this thing, and Jake's always been passionate that this is something he's always wanted to do. And now he's writing articles for Inside the Rink. And there's moments in life where dads are proud of their sons for different reasons. And I got to tell you, man, I've kind of got my chest stuck out a little bit this month. Jake has been writing for about a month now for Inside the Rink.
Just over a month, yeah.
No formal training in writing articles whatsoever. God, no. He went to radio school. They don't write articles.
I went to television school. I went to television school. I learned how to make cameras work and produce news.
So for a kid to come along, he's not a kid, he's 30 years old, with no training and starting to write articles for this relatively new website.
Almost 2 years old. Almost 2 years old.
And how many writers do they have now, Jake?
I do not know that number off the top of my head.
They probably have more than 50, I would say.
I would say probably close to that, of different contributors.
And of all those people, Jake's articles are number 3 for the most read. So that's
in
really
the month of April. In the month of April.
For the month of April. That's what I'm talking about. For the month of April, because that's really the only month you
yeah.
So good on you, buddy. That's an accomplishment, and I'm looking for big things. Our podcast has been doing really well too.
Yes, before we signed off today. I wanted to say thank you to everyone because last week's podcast, Sans the Old Man, was the most listened to podcast by about 2,600 viewers.
I really have a fucking issue with this, people. I take 1 week off. You get go fucking nuts, and we'll listen to the podcast.
20, yes. So altogether, we had been averaging about 30 to 40 of you beautiful people who are listening. And then once we started partnering with ITR, we got to about that 300 to 400.
So it wasn't that I wasn't here. It was the fact that we were partnering with.
No, because when you were here, we were getting 300 to 400. So it's the fact that you were gone, and we brought on the wonderfully talented Connor of
ITR.
No, well, yeah, but he has his own Twitter handle. I'm trying to think of what it is. Lords of the Rinks, covering the LA Kings.
He's not the old man, though.
No, he actually had insightful comments and knew what formation his teams were running and actual stats. And I
bet you didn't freaking rant on him like you did me.
Well, no, because I didn't rant at him at all because he was a guest. So if you are listening and you are an American and watching the game, Do know, I won't rant at you. You're a guest. I'll be nice and cordial. And then once you get off and the old man says something, I'll go off.
I can't promise I won't rant on you. If you suck, I'm going to rant on you, okay? It's just facts. Just facts.
True.
Facts.
One thing before we go. What was that? What would, if you're just listening to the audio, you're missing out on half the experience. The old man just started pointing at the screen.
You didn't let me finish talking.
Okay, go ahead.
No wonder people don't want to listen. They can't. You never let me finish talking. I'm done.
All right. Before we go, yesterday, the Abbotsford Canucks and the Calgary Wranglers kicked off their best of 5 round 2 series. I was trying to figure out how to word that properly. Yeah, best of 5 round 2 series at the Scotiabank Saddledome. The game, I don't know if you watched any of the game at all, man. It's very hard to find because you can only watch it on AHL TV. Which
really isn't a bad price. I mean, it's $39 and you get all the entire playoffs.
$29.99 American.
29. Well, 39 Canadian probably.
Yeah. The game, the game itself was high energy, lots of scrums, lots of battles. I watched a highlight package. The goal that Atu Ratu, one of the pieces we got in the Bohorvat trade, the goal that he scored, to tie the game. He walked in, center of the ice, and just sniped it top corner over the shoulder of the league MVP and AHL All-Star and probably going to be back up to Jacob Markstrom next year, Dustin Wolf.
Nice.
And made him look like an average goaltender. Honestly, the highest point of that game was that goal for me.
Now, just for people who don't follow hockey as well as you do or I do.
Yes.
The AHL, so we've got the WHL, which is the Calgary Hitmen, the Vancouver Giants,
Victoria, Saskatchewan.
Yeah, so where does the AHL fit in the ranking of?
So the NHL is in North America is the big league, is the end all be all for hockey.
Yeah, they're the Premier League.
Yeah. Underneath the NHL is the AHL. So the AHL, each individual NHL club either owns or is affiliated with an AHL club. That AHL club then hosts the prospects, the guys who are basically out of the minor leagues, out of the junior leagues, but aren't good enough quite yet for the major league.
Gotcha. Okay.
So a lot of your players, like you think of a big name player, especially on the Canucks, other than Daniel and Henrik on that 2011 team, they started
WHL.
No, they started in the AHL.
AHL, sorry, yeah.
Yes, the WHL is a junior league. So the WHL is part of what is called the CHL, which is the Canadian Hockey League, and that's the WHL, the Ontario Hockey League, the OHL, and the QMJHL, the Quebec Major Junior Hockey League. They are all your under 20, I believe it's 20 and under, so under 21 players.
Yeah,
you can have a 20-year-old.
Once you hit 21, you age out, and that's when you either go to the WHL or
the AHL. Yeah, or you find it, or you go and play in one of the European leagues that are fantastic hockey. Yeah. And watching, like, because the Canucks have sucked so badly, the Abbotsford Canucks have been on quite the run because they have a bunch of players who maybe should be in the NHL or fringe players in the NHL.
They're that close to making the NHL.
And they're putting on a show because they think they should be up there. So last night, the Jacob Peltier, who scored in overtime, another beautiful goal, scored that for the Wranglers, scored in overtime, like just over halfway through the first overtime period. He played up a couple games and was disrespected by the head coach beyond all belief of the Calgary Flames. And he's a star in that league.
Oh, yeah.
He's a star in that league, but it's great training. And I think a lot of successful teams use the AHL to prepare their stars for that attention and that hype.
Just so everybody knows, Jake and I are going to be following whichever team moves forward from this from this series, whether it be the Canucks or the Wranglers. We're going to be following them and doing an update every week.
Yes, and something I'm going to announce now, which I might get in trouble for, but I'm going to announce it anyways. Next year, I will be writing for Inside the Rink for the Calgary Wranglers.
That's so cool.
I will. That'll be I'll still write about the Canucks. The podcast here will still be about the Canucks, Abbotsford, BC Lions, but my writing on the site is going to be I'd like daily or game updates on the Wranglers.
Very cool.
Which is hopefully going to open up some doors for me in networking, because there are talks of trying to get us accredited with the AHL to actually be able to go in and interview these players and make relationships with them. So if everything goes well, we may or may not be able to bring on a rookie AHL player or a veteran AHL player to explain the differences in the league.
Yeah.
And cool. What the difference is between a AHL contract and an NHL contract.
And what's life like as an AHL player compared to this a NHL player?
Yeah,
an AHL player isn't jumping on a jetliner flying from city to city.
Depends on your team.
Does Abbotsford have a jetliner?
I believe they do.
Do they? Oh, there you go. So I believe they're bussing it.
I believe, and I could be wrong on this, so I stand to be corrected. I believe they use the same plane as the big Canucks. So if they're playing on different times, the AHL team might have to fly out a couple days early because they need to be there because the big team needs to travel, right?
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. They're doing a lot of traveling, aren't they? The Abbotsford Canucks. It's not like Junior League where you're traveling Western Canada. I believe, they played Calgary 12 times this year. So you're playing a lot of games interdivision in your Pacific division. So. Yeah. Cool.
But if you have nothing else to add, old man.
I have nothing, buddy. Oh, yes, I do.
Yes,
we have an update? Do we have an update on our NHL bracket?
No, we do not, because no single team has advanced yet, so no one has points.
Oh, okay.
We will not have an update until the second round.
I guess that makes sense. Well, that's boring. How many entrants did we have? Do you know?
I believe we had 10.
Oh, that's better than 0.
Yep. Hey, it could have been just me versus you, and
I'll finish 10th.
Hey, it's better than I would have predicted you for. I would have put you in 11th out of 10th.
I probably could.
Like you somehow got everything right, but somehow it still puts you in 10th or 11th.
I did random pick this time.
Dang, it works sometimes.
It said random.
You just hit randomize and you said okay. Before I go, because it's on my mind, because I do it myself. If you're interested in football and you're interested in hockey and you're interested in any sports, go find out about the officials associations in that area.
Yes.
They are the lifeblood, and I can say this because I've done it now. They are the lifeblood of the sport. If there are no refs, there is no games.
Yes.
There's no games, there's no development. If you have a passion for anything,
football, hockey, soccer, doesn't matter what sport, baseball.
What sport? Go talk to the officials association. This weekend, I get to go run around on a football field and get paid for it.
Folks.
If I can do it.
He said run.
I think
it's more of a waddle. I'm just saying.
Not this position. I'm ball boy this weekend, which means I'm ball boy this weekend for the women's football game between Calgary and Edmonton.
You're going to be like a ref. You're going because there's women there.
I'm going because they told me I had to be there.
And then they said there's going to be a bunch of female football players, and you went,
yeah, they terrify me. Have you seen women play football?
We're going to stop talking now before we get canceled.
But go volunteer, go coach, do something to get yourself involved, because I have reignited my passion for football all over again by doing it. Because you get back in, and if you played football or you played one of these sports, it's basically like re-enveloping yourself into that sport without having to play at a professional or semi-professional level.
Yeah. Who knows? Maybe one day we'll see Jake in the CFL reffing a CFL game.
I don't know if I could do this podcast then. Do you think I could rant about the refs blowing a call if I am a ref that's blowing a call?
Well, we do the podcast on Mondays during this football season, so
Yeah, but I'm just thinking, like, could I? This is going to be a whole moral dilemma this year. Like, do I yell at the refs or do I be like, I understand it's call, I get it. But everyone, as we wrap up, the New Jersey Devils have blanked the New York Rangers for nothing to take a 3-2 series lead. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, and I've been mistaken before, every single series is 3-2. Nope, that's not true because we have the Vegas. Well, if
3-1,
if we have one that's 3-1.
Oh, okay. All right.
If Winnipeg wins tonight, every single series will be 3-2.
Yeah.
Kraken and Avs 3-2. Dallas and Minnesota 3-2. Vegas and Winnipeg 3-1 with a game to be played right now. Edmonton LA 3-2. Devils Rangers 3-2. Carolina Islanders 3-2. We could have every single series go to 7 games. This has been a treat.
Happened before?
I don't know, but this has been a treat of a playoffs. So I'm going to sign off so you guys can go watch.
Have fun,
Vegas
guys. We'll see
and
you
Winnipeg
next week.
We will see you guys here next week for a brand new episode. Have yourselves a wonderful week. Bye.